DotaFanTV, what is going on in the video? Welcome back to another video. And today we are going to be looking at the day 2 of Dota 2 Animajor, brought to you by none other than Replay Esports. We are going to be talking about the result of the wildcard, where 4 teams are already eliminated, packing their bags and going home, and 2 more teams are going through to the group stage, joining the big boys. Without further ado, let's begin. Alright, the first thing we want to be looking at is the result that happened earlier today. We have it on screen right now. We'll go through one by one. The first one will be VG Gaming beating AS Monaco Gambit 2-0. At the same time, Secret draw with Execration 1-1. And then we have Execration losing out to Nigma 2-0. IG losing to VG Gaming 2-0. This was a big surprise, I think. VG Gaming beating IG in very quick games. Both of them are below. First game was 19 minutes. The second game was 20 minutes. It was a crazy stomp. And then moving on, we have Nigma against Secret 1-1. IG against AS Monaco Gambit 1-1. And IG 2-0 against Secret, beating Team Secret 2-0. I want to talk about this IG versus VG Gaming a little bit more. I think this just show us how well these teams know each other. IG versus VG Gaming, and basically VG Gaming just got IG figured out, maybe from the league, or maybe just looking at how the experience of playing with them previously in the same region. Because of that, they have better understanding of their opponent. They managed to storm them in both of the game. IG just couldn't take it, tap out very quickly in both of the games. And for those who notice down here, we actually have a tiebreaker happening right now, as I'm recording this video. I will edit that in afterwards. You will see it later through the magic of editing. Regardless of that, I want to take a quick look at the standing, and maybe we just start from the bottom. So start with AS Monaco Gambit. I think they are right at the bottom with 0 wins, 3 draw, and 2 losses. To be fair to them, I don't think a lot of people are surprised at the fact that AS Monaco Gambit is right at the bottom, because I think we have said previously they have 2 players leaving the roster right before the major, and then they recruited 2 relatively younger players. I think they're from their like B team, AS Monaco Gambit's B team or something. So actually, it's not too bad of a result. It's not a stomp where they lost just 0-5. I think a lot of people, if you ask them, do you expect them to maybe just draw 1 or 2 series and then lost everything else? They draw 3 series. They took some of the wins against some of the big boys. Going back down here, we see the draw that they had was against Team Secret, Team IG. These are big teams. And to be fair to them, their spirit is very admirable as well. I think at this point where they play against IG, they are already eliminated. IG has everything to play for to make it to the group stage, proceed to the next stage. But they play their heart out. They managed to get a draw with IG, which at the end ultimately have an impact to the overall result, because IG now is forced to play a tiebreaker with Team Nigma, right? So not a huge surprise in terms of the result of them being right at the bottom, but at the same time, I think the way they play impresses some of the other people who just write them off as the team, that would probably be in the wild card and not have any wins at all. The next one would be Team Secret and Team Execration, both sit at 4th place. I think for Team Execration, again, is one of those teams that more or less people are expecting to be the bottom 2, simply because, looking at the roster, they are not a very strong team. They have a lot of young players, relatively inexperienced in LAN, and so on and so forth. But I think they play decently. They have 4 draws and one loss overall, and the draw that they had are against big teams as well. We can look at Execration. The loss that they had was against Nigma, and everyone else, they actually able to take 1 game off everyone else. So not too bad. I would think at the end of the day, they are a decent team. But going back to what I said about the SEA DPC, is that it feels like nobody is stepping up their game. OB Neon kind of, fall backwards in terms of their performance. Fnatic fall backwards in terms of their performance. They had a roster shuffle recently as well after not making it to the major. So with all these things happening, I'm just trying to say, like, execution don't have to do extremely well in the domestic league to be able to go to the major. What happened is they just play a very decent Dota, they are able to make it to the major already. And then we have, for some people, it's probably one of the huge surprise. But I think if we look at the rest of the 4 teams, they are very close to each other in terms of the strength of the team. So at the end of the day, it depends a lot on how much motivation that each team have, or how much practice, or who figure out the meta of the tournament quicker. So we have Team Secret sitting at 4th place with 4 draws and 1 loss. Actually was the same result as Execution. I would say in terms of the overall result, it's probably a little bit disappointing for them. You would expect them to be able to take 1 or 2 series with a win, but they go through the entire wildcard without a win. Nothing much to say, but I have heard things from the talents or whatever saying that Team Secret is actually not practicing as much for this tournament because they already qualified for TI. And what Puppy have in mind is the fact that in the previous few TI they haven't been performing well. So they just think that putting too much, one of the reason of not performing in TI could be just they over practice, and then a lot of the players are burnt out by the time they reach TI. So they kind of want to take another approach to this year of TI, where they just want to chill for a bit, get enough result to go to TI, which they already did. They are most likely I think they already confirmed a TI spot, so they can just chill and wait until TI, and then push for another round, do a boot camping or whatever. So yeah, I'm not huge surprised, although I do predict that Nigma and Secret will go through. But looking at how they play and all those things, I am not a huge surprise listening to what I just heard as well. So I think for Team Secret, a lot of people are arguing that like maybe the other team step up might play better. But in my opinion, it's just more towards Team Secret themselves. They're not competing with this other team. They're competing with themselves. Whether they're stepping up the games to compete with others or not, it's really up to them. As for IG and Team Nigma, the result is not confirmed yet. As I mentioned, they're playing a tiebreaker at the moment, which I will edit after that. And last but not least, we have Vici Gaming, which I think in the first day they ended up with 3 draw, so they were 0-3-0. And the second day, they just, I think maybe the coach just give them a good, like, step the fuck up and, no fucking around. So they just immediately win 2 series in a row, which is against AS Monaco Gambit, and then against IG, they, again, like I mentioned, a quick series against IG, which secured them the spot to the group stage. I think well deserved. VG Gaming not by far, but it is by a very noticeable margin the best team among the 6 teams over here. And in terms of IG and Team Nigma, we have to see how the result goes. And through the power of editing, here we are back again after the game is played between IG and Nigma. It's the best of 1. Team Nigma won it in the end. It was so freaking hype. I think Team Nigma win 1 team fight. They go high ground. They take the tier 3, get the racks, immediately go for throne. There's no glyph, no buyback for Team IG. And Team Nigma just take the series. It was so... I was getting goosebumps from that game alone. Oh my god, it's one of the best game of the tournament so far, just because how much hype was built around it. It's a tiebreaker, it was close. And I feel really, really happy for Team Nigma as well. Because I think there was a series, right, between Team Nigma and Secret in the second game where they were leading in 15 minutes. They were 1-2k up. But following a server crash, the game 2 was remade with the same draft, same lane, and same starting item. And because of that, in the second game around, 15 minutes in, they were down by like 2k, 3k, or even 4k or something like that. So I feel a little bit bad for them that, one of the games that they were leading, that it was taken away from them. But knowing Kuroki, knowing Team Nigma, they were the kind of team where they wouldn't complain, they just take it and, they wouldn't make a big fuss out of it, but still, I think they deserve it. Just knowing how how these things will happen to anyone, and they were the unlucky team, and forcing them, if they won that series, right, they wouldn't have to go into tiebreaker. Anyway, huge credit to Team Nigma. This thing is not updated yet over here, but they are going through to the group stage. And at least one team from my prediction did go through. I said it was Secret and Enigma, and Team Enigma did it. I'm so happy for them. As for IG, it was a little bit unlucky, but having said that, they already confirmed a spot in TI, so I don't think they'll be very, very disappointed. That's it for today's video, guys. If you enjoy this kind of content, please let me know by clicking on the like button. Comment down below which team do you think will not make it out of the group stage, given that we have so many big boys. And last but not least, I will be making daily content on the Animajor. So if you like this kind of content, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.